Hi everyone, my name is Brandon Paris from OSIGoDirect.com, your DIY security product online store. Today what I'm going to do is talk about one of the products we carry. It's called the OSI Wi-Fi Wireless Alarm System. It's extremely affordable, really easy to set up. So what I'm going to do is take the contents out of this puppy. I'm going to talk about its features, the benefits, and then I'm going to show you how easy it is to set up. And so how easy is it to set up? Well, you're about to find out. Okay, so I'm back with the OSI Wi-Fi Wireless Alarm System. I'm going to unbox this and then we're going to show you how to quickly set it up. So first of all, when you open the box, you're going to see the manual. Now, this is more of a technical guide, so I wouldn't recommend using this to learn how to set up. Think of this as more of learning what all the button descriptions are and the in-depth features if you want to go beyond the basic usage of the system. So let's put that aside. All right, and the next thing you're going to see is a Smart Life app quick user guide. That just has a QR code, which when scanned takes you to the Google Play or the Apple Store. And it works exceptionally well. Smart Life app I use to control all my switches, my light bulbs. Haven't had any problems. Works perfect with the Google Home and Alexa, as well as I've tested it with this alarm system, and it connects very quickly, has no problems. Okay, so on the top is the display. This is a 4.3-inch color display, IPS display. So very good colors and excellent viewing angle. Underneath you see RFID, that stands for radio frequency ID. So you got those tags on the keychain that you use to disarm and arm the system. It's the same idea as the hotel keys that you have. Those are RFID. And then above the RFID code, it says SOS. That's the panic button. So as soon as you press that, it'll sound the alarm. Or if you have a SIM card inside, then it'll automatically call the preset numbers and your voice message that you've programmed in there. And when you turn it around, you see two covers. One is the main cover, which you just slide down. That comes off. And then above, that's what's called a built-in tamper switch. Really, when you turn the internal power on, you do need this on or this alarm will sound off. But when you are installing on top of the wall, you just take that off and you have the two screw holes. You know, you hang it on the two screws, and then once the screws are touching, then it's a complete circuit. If someone breaks into the house, try to rip it off, well, once the screws are off of here, then the circuit is broken and the alarm begins to sound. Now on the inside are four main inputs, two of which are going to be the most important for most of you. One is the power. That's the 5-volt USB power cord plugged into here. On this side here is the wired siren jack. That is where your siren plugs into. And then right over here, this black area here pops open. That is where your SIM card goes in. So when the trigger goes off, it'll automatically dial the phone numbers you programmed and play the message. Also, at the bottom here is the wired defense zone socket. That is for a whole new feature that we can go into in another video. So we don't need to talk about that because right now we just want to do quick setup. Okay, and now we're going to go through the rest of the accessories that come in this box, starting with one 5-volt USB power cable right here, one PIR sensor and a mount, one window/door sensor, and the 3M backing that just sticks onto the door there or the window. Of course, because this comes with one, you're using this for the door. I can't see anyone just not wanting to use this for the door and only using it for the window. So you're going to use this for the door. If you want an additional one for your window, you can go on the online store at OSIGoDirect.com and order one for $12.99 US. And then you have two remotes. And I don't think most of you are going to use the remotes, mainly because everyone already has the remotes for their cars, so you probably don't want too much clunkiness going on in your pockets. As well as two RFID tags, which I showed you. Right where it says RFID on the system, you just swipe across it and it'll automatically arm and disarm the system. And then we have a wired horn. This is only about 2 inches in diameter. It's loud enough for an apartment. It has a 4-foot wire, and this inserts into the back of the unit, and the horn itself attaches to the wall with either 2 screws, or you can use a 3M backing. Now, if you don't like the wired look and you want more of a cleaner look, or you just want an additional siren because maybe you want another siren in another room so you can hear it better, we do sell an additional accessory. It's a wireless strobe siren, so it's louder, it strobes light, and it can be plugged anywhere where there's an electrical outlet. I highly recommend getting this. It's definitely a much more cleaner look, and it is louder. So if you want this, it's available at our store, osigodirect.com, for only $19.99 US. And then lastly, we have 4 screws. 2 of them are for the mount for the PIR motion sensor, and 2 of them are to mount the display unit onto the wall. Well, that's everything that comes included with the system. Next up, I'm going to show you how to very quickly and easily set up the alarm system in just a matter of minutes. So are you guys ready to set up? Let's go. Okay, so now I'm first going to show you how to do the initial setup using the touchscreen display, and then of course connect to the Smart Life app so we can change settings, receive push notifications, and arm and disarm the system. Now you should have 5 pieces sitting here: your power, your display, your motion sensor, your horn, and your window/door sensor. Now we're going to flip this over and take off the cover, and we are going to plug this in. Now I have a outlet off screen here, so I'm going to plug that in. And then we're going to take this and plug this end into the back here, just like this. And we're going to feed this through here easily. There. Now, before I cover this, there is a switch right here I want to show you. If I put up close, you'll see on and off. That is the internal lithium backup battery. So we do not need to turn that on until we're finished the complete setup. So let's cover this back up. And when we flip this over, you'll see that it is now ready for setup. Okay, so now that the screen's on, I'm going to show you what everything means. This here with the bars is just showing you have no SIM card installed, which we don't need. This is showing we haven't connected the Wi-Fi yet, which we will do later. This is your battery status, of course your time. When these 2 are green, that's a good thing. You want to see that when you're doing your initial setup. Now, the first button is your arm and disarm log button. Now, when you click the arm button, for example,
system armed,
it'll change color. And then when you disarm it,
system disarmed,
it goes back to green. Now, again, this is a log, so when you open it, it'll show you 2 actions that I did. The last one is what's going to show first. So if I go back up, it's going to show you that I armed it first, and that's 1 of 2. And it shows you the date and time. And then if I go down, it shows you the second action I did and the date, and shows you that I disarmed it. So we could delete all that. All I do is click the X button. I'll say delete all, and we're going to say yes. And then we'll go back. And we'll go back again. And over here is your alarm log button. So anytime your sensors are triggered, it's going to show you a log. So you'll just go in the exact same way, and it'll show you the time and what was triggered, etc. So we'll go back. And that's that. So this is the arm button. You're going to press this when you go away. And this is your stay arm button. That's what you're going to press when you're at home. So when you're sleeping and you want to feel protected, you'll click on this. And this is your menu button. This is the only button we're going to need to go into to do our initial setup. Okay, so your basic initial setup only consists of 3 steps. The first is setting up the date and the time. The second is programming your sensors, so your window and door sensor, and then your PIR motion sensor. And then the last step is creating a code so you can arm and disarm the alarm, as well as unlock the screen. Okay, so now the first thing we're going to do is set the date and the time. And we're going to do that by clicking on menu. Then we're going to click on timer. Then we're going to click on date and time. Then we're going to adjust this. So we're going to go, it's 2020. It's December the 1st. And it is 3:09. There, that's perfect. So once we're happy with that, we click the check mark. And then we go back. So now we're at the timer screen. We're going to go back one more time, and we are now at the main menu. And now we have completed setting the date and time. Okay, and now we're at step 2 where we're going to program the sensors, so the motion sensor and the window and door sensor. Let's start off with the motion sensor PIR. We're going to flip this around, and on the back here you can see an on and off switch. We're just going to click that to on and put that down. And then we're going to go back to the screen here. So now we're at the main menu, and now we're going to connect the system with the motion sensor. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click parts. And then all motion sensors that you're connecting to, you're going to go into detector. So we'll go into detector here. Now, what you're going to see here is you're going to have your up and down arrow. So when you have a list, you'll see it there. You just navigate up and down through them, which we have none right now. Then when you do have your sensors on here, you can delete each one by one, or you can delete all. You click here. This will delete all detectors. And then this is the add button. So obviously there's nothing here. We're going to add our first sensor. Okay, now on this screen is where we have 3 different options to choose from for each sensor that we add. So as it says on the top here, the first one is your zone description. The second one is your application mode. And the last one is your zone number. This is a motion sensor that we're adding. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on zone description. So we have different zone descriptions to choose from. Because this system is specifically made for smaller homes such as condos, townhouses, apartments, it has basic zone descriptions preset. So for motion sensors, you choose either bedroom or living room because that's where most of these motion sensors are going to be used for. So in this case, we're going to choose living room. So we're going to select this button here until we see living room. There. So now we have living room alarm selected. Now we're going to set the mode for the motion sensor. Over here is where we do the selection, so we can just select through here. Now, there's only 2 modes that you really need to know. Out arm active is the mode you would select for sensors that you only want active when you are away. So this is the perfect setting for a motion sensor because you only want the motion sensor on when you're away. When you're at home, you want those turned off. So we're going to keep this at out arm active. And now we're going to select the zone. And the zone automatically defaults to 1. If we wanted to change that, we just go in here and we delete it and change it there. But we're not, so we're going to go back. So everything looks good. So let's select OK by selecting the check mark. It's going to synchronize. And it says learning OK. So that is done. Now you're taken back to the screen where it shows you the list of connected sensors. Now we have the window/door sensor left to program, and then we're finished programming all the sensors. So now we're going to connect the door/window sensor, but we're going to call it door sensor because we're just using it for the door. We're going to flip this around, and on the back here you can see an on and off switch. We're just going to click that to on and put that down. And then we're going to go back to the screen here. So we're going to set the name description, and we want this one here, door alarm, because that's the door. So we've selected that, and now we're going to select the mode. Now the door sensor, we want to be active all the time. It must be on when we arm the system and go out, as well as when we arm the system when we stay. So in order to do that, you select Stay Arm Active. So Stay Arm Active is the mode that you want to select for any sensors in the house that you want to be active when you arm the system when you're away or when you arm the system when you stay at home. Select Stay Arm Active. An important note I'd like to make is that both Out Arm Active and Stay Arm Active has a default delay timer. It's 40 seconds, but you could change it in the app to whatever you want. It could be a few minutes or a few seconds. So the delay timer means that if you trigger one of the sensors, the timer will start counting down, giving you time to disarm the system. For your front door, you're obviously going to want a delay timer because you need some time to disarm the system. But even for your other sensors, I would have a delay timer because, let's face it, a lot of us are forgetful and we're going to trigger the sensors in the middle of the night when we open the window to get some fresh air or get up in the middle of the night to get a glass of water and trigger the motion sensor. If you live in an apartment or a condo where you have a lot of neighbors around you, you don't want to anger them when you accidentally trigger the sensors in the middle of the night. So that's why I would recommend having a delay timer. So if for some reason you do not want a delay timer, then you would choose out arm active without delay or stay arm active without delay. So it's already set to stay arm active, so we're going to leave it at that. Now we have to select the zone number. Now if we keep it at 1, it's going to overwrite the motion sensor, which we've already programmed. We don't want that to happen, so we're going to change this to 2. So let's select here. And then we're going to delete that and select 2. And then we're going to select the check mark to confirm. And now we're back to the screen. Before we press the check mark, which puts the system in pairing mode, on the back of the door sensor, you'll see a black object protruding out. That is the pairing button. So when I press it, the red light appears for about 3 seconds, you see? So what we need to do is press the check mark, which puts it in pairing mode, and it'll count down. And then press the back and it'll pair. It says learning okay. So now we're taken back to the screen where it shows us the list of all connected sensors. So you see living room alarm, which is our motion sensor, and you see door alarm, which is our door sensor. So now we've completed step 2. We're going to hit the back button and hit it again, and we're back to the main menu. And now we're at the third and final step, which is creating a code for arming and disarming the alarm system, as well as unlocking the screen. Now, before we do that, we have to turn the keypad lock on. And the keypad lock, once turned on, is telling the system to prompt you to enter a password in order to arm and disarm the system, as well as enter the control panel. So let's turn that on right now. So we're going to go into settings. And then we're going to go into switch. And then we're going to click on keypad lock. And it says off. So we're going to turn that on by selecting here. It'll turn green. So then just press the check mark to confirm. It says setting okay. Everything is good. Takes us back. Now all you do is go back one more. And we are at the settings page. So here's where we can create a password. So let's select password. And then select user. Now you can have multiple users if you have more people living in the home and they want their own password. We're going to select, so just press delete and just select any number. So just pick something easy and then press the check mark to select OK. So the next thing I'm going to show you is how to connect the Wi-Fi to the Smart Life app so you can arm and disarm the system remotely from your smartphone, as well as get notifications and change any other setting. Before we start, ensure that you have your smartphone and OSI alarm system in front of you. At this point, you should have already installed Smart Life on your phone and made an account. Okay, let's begin. First, open the Smart Life app on your phone. Next, select the blue plus icon on the top right corner. Next, on the left side panel, select Sensors. Then select Alarm Wi-Fi. Here is where your strongest Wi-Fi signal should auto-populate and show up on your screen. If nothing is showing, just select the Wi-Fi icon here and select the strongest Wi-Fi network. This includes your booster Wi-Fi if you're using one. Then come back to this page, enter the password, and select Next. This is the Wi-Fi I want to use, so let's press Next. On this page, click on where it says Easy Mode at the top right corner. Then select AP Mode. AP Mode just stands for Access Point. Selecting this will allow Smart Life to connect to the internal OSI Alarm Wi-Fi access point. Now that it's in AP mode, keep your smartphone in front of you while we now go into the OSI Alarm System display to enable the internal chip. This allows Smart Life app to connect to it. So on the OSI Alarm System display, select Menu, then select Wi-Fi, then select Soft App Configure located at the very right. Now before we select the checkmark to confirm, take note that the timer will start counting down from 300 seconds. This is the time you have to complete the rest of the steps on your Smart Life app. So let's select the checkmark and go back to the smartphone. And you see it's counting down, so now let's go back to the app on our smartphone. Select indicator blinking at the bottom here, which in this case, we're confirming that the OSI alarm system is counting down and ready to connect. So let's press next. On this screen, it's just telling you that once you select Go Connect, you should see a mobile hotspot called Smart Life or the letters SL with a few other letters and numbers. So let's select Go Connect. So here you should see Smart Life show up on your Wi-Fi screen. Select it and go back to the Smart Life app immediately. Do not wait for it to connect on this screen or it will not work. So let's press the back button, and now you'll see that the OSI alarm will now connect. Now it says device added successfully. And if you select the security system device, you can see that we now have control of the OSI alarm system. Okay, so before we call this complete, we're going to plug in the horn and then turn on the internal backup battery. This way, if there's a power outage, the system will continue to run, or if an intruder breaks in, the alarm will continue to sound. So the first thing we're going to do is flip this over. We're going to open that, and then right over here, as I showed you before, you're going to flip the off switch to on, and now the power is on. Now we're going to plug in the horn, and we're going to plug it right in here, and then we'll just feed it right over here. Just push this back and pull here. There. And now we're going to cover it back up, just like that. And we are now done. So when I unplug the system, it should continue to run here. So we're just unplug it here. There. See? I unplugged it and it's still going. Well, we hope this video helped you out, and if it did, please give us a big thumbs up. If you have any questions, just drop us a comment below. And if you want to see more videos, don't forget to subscribe. All the products that you see on our channel are available with free shipping at osigodirect.com or amazon.com. Those links are provided in the description below. My name is Brandon Paris, and thank you for watching.